Alright, so check this first clip out right here. Shoot at this guy, he's shooting back at me. Take him out, turn to reload, and then what? That was the same guy I just killed. Now that, my friends, is some serious connection issues. Either that or I am just missing something from that situation altogether. Hey, what's going on, guys? Cloud of Truth here with some more Battlefield 3 gameplay for you all. And the first thing is that you're going to be watching some TDM on Gulf of Oman with the AN-94, doing some pretty good work here for about the first, I don't know, half the video or so. Second half's going to be some Conquest Domination on Zeba Tower with the M240B, bringing the Tiger back into it once again. Except this time I've got the laser sight instead of the flash suppressor on. I get some nice triple kill hip fire, so hopefully you guys enjoy that gameplay. And another note before I like to get into the main topic of today's video is that I recently did a dual complex last night with my buddy Ty. We did it on a kind of the second part to a series he's doing on his own channel. So if you can go check it out, he has not uploaded it, at least at the time of I'm recording this commentary right now. He has not uploaded it yet. So once he does, I'll fill in the link in the description. But please go check it out. You may want to check out the first one. It's more along the lines of a YouTuber as opposed to being just a viewer. He and I will do a dual commentary probably pretty soon from now. That'll be more focused around the viewers as opposed to YouTubers. So if you're not really ever curious about YouTubers or anything like that, or doing kind of YouTube stuff, the video may not interest you that much. Although please, I would encourage you to check it out once again. And also, he's got more to do with the rest of this video, because in our conversation last night, we talked about a few things, and one of them involved the main topic for today's video, and that is going to be about EA. Oh yes, EA. Oh my goodness, this name is starting to, I wouldn't say it's starting to, I feel like it's already is. Just, you utter that name and you shake your head now. I'll get into more of that in just a little bit. But for those of you that know, and if you don't, well, I'm about to tell you, EA recently announced that they are dropping Medal of Honor from their yearly rotation. So what exactly does that mean? Well, usually every other year, kind of like Call of Duty does, where they have one COD one year and then one the next, except they have different developers. With EA, it's different games. For instance, let's go back a few years to kind of use this as an example. 2010, Medal of Honor 2010 came out. 2011, Battlefield 3 came out. 2012, Medal of Honor Warfighter came out. So you gotta see it's in every other year in terms of game rotation. Well, they decided that now they're done. They're gonna drop off Medal of Honor because apparently the reception from Warfighter was not good enough, although they said it's not. They didn't really feel like it was warranted, although some of it I feel was, some of it I feel was nuts. But really, they can only put the blame on, I mean, obviously, there's so much more to the backstory that we're never going to know, and there's going to be so much things that I say that probably are just completely false, but as a public viewer, it appears that really the blame can only be put on themselves as the publishers. So, instead of, although, actually, one more thing, they didn't really say they're completely just done with the franchise. It is, never going to exist ever again. They say we're going to take a break from it, sit on it, and see if we can, here down the road, find a good spot to put it back in. I highly doubt that. It's done. Oh, by the way, don't ever go AFK in Battlefield, because you'll probably get defibbed just like that. But I don't think they're going to put the game back in. I really don't. So, what are they going to do now? Well, many people have now speculated that there's going to be a Battlefield game every year, like Call of Duty does, because EA has that every year. They release a main staple first-person shooter, which was Battlefield and Medal of Honor. In terms of first-person shooters nowadays, I'm talking giants. I'm not talking the good, kind of the medium-sized FPS games. I'm talking the giants. These are the games that have been around for a while. These are the games that people know, the household names. And that's Medal of Honor, Battlefield, and Call of Duty. And so Call of Duty has released a game every single year because they have to. And since to keep up with EA releasing. And EA did the same thing. One a year Medal of Honor, 1 year Battlefield. That's kind of what they've been doing. So since they're going to drop off Medal of Honor, what are they going to do now? Are they going to release a Battlefield game every year now? Probably not. Some people think it's going to be a mainstream Battlefield game 1 year, and then the next year it's going to be the spin-off Bad Company series. I highly doubt that. Me and my buddy Ty talked about this, and I kind of agree when he said that that's not going to happen, which, yeah, it's true. They're not going to do that. Because these games, they take way too long to develop, and I think that's asking a lot of those developers every year to make that game. So what are they going to do instead? Well, me and my buddy Ty once again talked last night about well, he's the one that brought up, which I kind of speculated something along the lines of. There's a company called Respawn Entertainment. I'd heard of him before, didn't know really anything about him, just heard the name. But Respawn Entertainment is a developing company that was founded by the original Call of Duty developers, the guys that developed the COD games I won't say a long time ago, but the original COD games that people loved, the ones that they thought were the best. They got fired, I think it was 2010, and then they have new guys taking over. Now, those guys that got fired, the original developers, went off and formed their own company, Respawn Entertainment. So why is this, relevant to the Medal of Honor Battlefield thing? Well, Respawn Entertainment is now being backed by EA. So, okay, what does that exactly mean? Well, EA over the last couple of years has just been trying to beat COD. That is their #1 goal. They will do anything and everything to get those guys that spend their money on the COD games to buy their game. Instead of having Activision on the box, they want the box to say EA. And they've tried it one of the ways they tried was with Battlefield 3's Close Quarters DLC. It was a clear fail. I mean, it just did not work. Also, they've been using Medal of Honor the last couple of years, which just disgusts me, like a puppet, trying to get guys to come play their game. Trying to formulate the fast pace and yet the strategic shooter, a cross between COD and Battlefield. And it didn't work. It really did not work. The game in themselves, 2010 and Warfighter, they're an absolute blast. But in terms of getting the Call of Duty players, it didn't work. So now, they have decided to get the original COD developers on their side, and they're going to be making a game rumored March of 2013. It's not going to happen. I mean, to me, it's highly doubtful. We don't know anything about this game except for just a complete blur screenshot. So the fact is, this game is not coming out in a month. It's going to be coming out next year, most likely. And now it's going to fall back into the Medal of Honor rotation. So from EA going out and getting these developers, the original COD guys on their side, they are going for an absolute gaming monopoly in terms of first-person shooters. Now, obviously, there's other companies out there that make great games. But once again here, I'm referring to the giants. These are the big household names. And if EA and Respawn Entertainment can score a great game, now I've heard it's going to be a science kind of sci-fi shooter, if they can make it to where it's in a sense, a COD-like game that people love that play Call of Duty, now it's being sponsored by EA, really the only thing that stands in the way of EA an absolute monopoly in FPS games in terms of just being the biggest company is Activision and Call of Duty. And if they can overtake them, they are on their way to controlling the entire first-person shooter genre. Now, obviously, it's probably not going to happen. If it does, it'll be a really long time from now. But as a consumer, this is the last thing, honestly, that I could ever want. It's just horrible, because as a consumer, when you have a monopoly, you don't have a choice. The guys that own everything, they love it. They can make all the rules. They can change stuff how they want to. And it's really showing recently with how EA's been treating companies, how these games have been published, finished, and it's just like they don't care about the quality. Just give me the money, just get bigger so I can do this and get more. It's just disgusting, and it's just terrible. Now you may be saying, hold on, dude, you're completely contradicting yourself. You're playing a game published by EA, yet you're talking about them in a not so positive light. Yeah, that's true. Because while I don't really like the decisions they make, they're over the better games out there. I'm not a huge COD fan. I don't dislike it, but I'm not a huge fan of it. And so what do I have to play? Games like Battlefield. Although I play other games, not just that, but games like Battlefield, games like Medal of Honor, those are controlled by EA. And so you're kind of stuck between a rock and a hard place sometimes. And you don't really have much of a choice. But with this, I feel like EA is really moving towards a monopoly. Now, once again, I don't think it will happen, and if it does, it will take a very, very long time for it to happen. But I feel like this move on EA's part is something that is in this kind of the steps towards getting that monopoly. Because recently, they've been trying to buy out a lot more games in order to just expand their growth, and they're turning into just a company that just wants that money. That's it. Quality doesn't matter to them. If you guys enjoyed this commentary, consider rating it. Leave your thoughts about it below. See you all next time.